Welcome into college soccer on ESPNU. Today, the Big Ten brings us two beautiful teams in a beautiful matchup here. One that has led to some real drama over the years. The Maryland Terps getting set here at home at Ludwig Field to get set to take on the Wolverines of Michigan. Take a look at the conference standings here, and we'll tell you why this is a big one. These teams want minimum a draw today. A win would be even better. They would host then in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. And welcome in, everybody. I'm Glenn Davis, alongside me, Devin Kerr, and it is a day of beauty here in Maryland for college soccer. And, of course, this is a game that has consequence in a number of different ways.
I think it'd be real simple to look over your shoulder and go, what if this, what if that? Forget about it. This is real simple. Win, and you're in. You get a top four spot, move on to the big tournament, and let's go have a little fun.
Sasha Cirovski talking about a team that scores by committee. We're going to go right to a center forward, Eric Matsalevich, that has done things in a different way.
Normally you'd be concerned, only 4 goals, but that's okay. The kid's got a high work ethic, and he's all about how much distance covered. You'll see that because of their press. They'll push him up top, likes to play with his back to his goal, but isn't necessarily going to find the back of the net on a regular basis. That's okay. He's leading the team in both those categories as you see goals and shots because they do look to him. But it's not necessarily the most regular thing. They're going to look to other guys like Malcolm Johnston, Nick Richardson, even your center backs on the back line are going to step up and help out. They thought Brian Padilla would have been one of the answers. Unfortunately, he picks up the injury. But where you're lacking up top, you've been able to really push in some support other areas of the field.
Eli Crognale coming off a wonderful goal against Penn State. If we talk about Michigan, we talk about a team that has the number one goal scorer, the number one man in points in the Big Ten, that man, Nebojša Popović.
Pretty impressive. The transfer came over. Shaka Daly knew exactly what he was getting when he brought him in the offseason. This is a Ferrari. He's got all the pieces. He does it in every single way. Forget the set piece from the penalty spot. Plays in traffic, balls into the air. Can they find a way, though, to now play off Popović now that they finally got a full and healthy team? It's been quite some time since we've seen that.
He brings some real leadership. He brings some maturity to the Michigan Wolverines today. The task is a big one. The defending champions, Maryland. Maryland, Michigan, lineups, kickoff next. Today, Maryland and Michigan getting set to get going here. Let's start off with Michigan in a 4-4-2 under Shaka Daly.
Don't be surprised in the 4-4-2 in the middle if Marky Barra and Carlos Tejas start to shift a little bit into a diamond formation. They'll pinch the outside midfielders in. They'll get the outside backs going. I think the key thing here is the fact we talked about the health finally coming back for the Wolverines. You get that at Zaki up top next to Popović.
45-year-old Shaka Daly has been a player, assistant, head coach at Providence, 8th season at Michigan, and he has assembled a very strong collective defending team. The Terps of Maryland, the defending national champions today, 4-2-3-1. They will miss Justin Gielen.
Unfortunately, in concussion protocol, they were hopeful they might be able to get him back. He's going to miss this match. He will be back next week, but Justin Harris will come in on the left side. He's not an issue whatsoever. They're a plug-and-play type system. Again, not a lot of massive names standing off, but that's a good thing. Sasha Cirovski feels like they're in a real good place heading towards tournament time.
There he is. Led him to the national championship last year. Sasha Cirovski.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
27th season at Maryland, 396 wins. It's game on here in College Park, Maryland. The Terps in black, Michigan. The Wolverines in white here, and a lot of implications here. Number one for hosting in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, but also RPI-wise as well. And first foul of this game will come in favor of Maryland. Already in the mix there, Nebojša Popović, who is a big body up front, graduate student wearing number 33, and is the number one goal scorer in the Big Ten.
It's the transfer we talked about coming over from Oakland. Shaka Daly very high and mighty on him. Felt like he was going to be the perfect addition. Unfortunately, he's had to do a lot of it of own. So many injuries and trying to figure out exactly what this is going to look like going forward. Talking to the coaching staff saying, you know, even though the numbers are real similar to 2018, felt like there was a different vibe about last year's squad. They kind of hit the ground running and went on that beautiful run. This year, it's kind of been trial by fire. Let's figure out a way to get through the season, get everybody healthy, but they feel like they finally reached that point.
There's Hallahan, the Englishman. He is very good on the ball. Ball is switched here. Usman now driving into the box. Here's Hallahan, who does have a left foot, a bender that's going to go out for the goal kick, but already getting Jack Hallahan high here is Michigan.
Feed that early, and he'll play on the right side, but you'll see he loves to cut in on this left foot, Jack Hallahan. He's gotten much better at getting down to the byline and putting in some quality service. But those quick little cut-ins, that's why he had so much success hitting the back of the net in 2018. Haven't necessarily seen that as much this year, but again, he's been part of that injury crew.
From Redditch, England, he is a senior. He's got a goal and 5 assists. Shaka Daly telling us, well, he's had to do a little bit more defensively. It's made him be a little bit farther away from goal. Can we get him higher up the field today here in the right moments, because he's good at eliminating people off the dribble.
Beautiful pedigree, West Brom kid coming over, and one of those guys that next step that we talk about, getting down into the corners, taking people on. You knew he was capable of the one-on-one matchups, but if he wants to make a serious run at a professional career, his game had to evolve a little bit, and it's definitely done that in 2019.
Is Ben DeRosa, that wonderful, hard-working wingback. Made the College Cup All-Tournament team last year. He had some incredible blocks, timely blocks against Indiana in the semifinal at last year's College Cup in Santa Barbara, where the Maryland Terps would go through their entire NCAA tournament without conceding a goal. That is one thing for clear here we got, Devin. We have 2 teams that are outstanding from a collective defending standpoint.
Some beautiful run of play, and interesting how when you look at both squads, it's the big names for their teams that have stepped up have been the defenders and the goalkeepers as well. Now that's going to switch a little bit as Andrew Verdi from the Michigan Wolverines picked up an injury in overtime against Wisconsin. In steps Owen Finnery, but you know what? That's not a problem. Take a look at the back line of Maryland, what they're of. 4 of the 5 top minute winners are on the back line. You add Nick Richardson into that, who's also a defensive-minded player, and that's the perfect example how Swarovski wants this team to lead from the back going forward.
Swike knocks it forward. The intended target there was Popovich. He comes off 2 goals against Michigan State. They win that Big Bear Trophy. Came over from Oakland in Michigan, where he scored a lot of goals for another good program. Usman will knock it forward. Popovich trying to flick it on. So it's good news for Shaka Daly that they get the start today for Mohamed Zaki, who's got 2 goals, but today only his 7th appearance, getting him healthy at the right time.
It's that combination of Zaki's in there, Hallahan, Osman as well. Umar Farouk Osman, they lost him a couple games back, and you can really see it now. When you're losing 1 piece, okay, 2 maybe, but this squad has lost 3, 4 at a time, and it's just so difficult to maintain proper play on the field when your composition is always changing. Now that's credit to the coaching staff to be able to replicate the same output they did in 2018, but again, they have unfinished business right now because it's not just the tournament run. For right now, it's the next 90 minutes of getting one of those top 4 spots.
Ben DeRosa now pushing higher. 12 is Brett St. Martin, 16th appearance for him, the sophomore. He's been a real rock at the back, very consistent and dependable. DeRosa flicks it to himself along the end line. Can he square this back? It's 1-0 Maryland. Tapped at the far post by Eric Matsalevich. Ben DeRosa with some wizardry along the end line.
It's pretty impressive when you watch the outside backs of Maryland because they don't normally send both immediately. It'll be one DeRosa or the other, but they don't both normally go, well, this is the right side with Ben DeRosa, and watch the little one-on-one. It's a nice back heel, but to be honest, Austin Swike has to do better. Clever, but it's not clever enough because he had plenty of time on positioning standpoint to step in front of him. Instead, beautiful little change of speed, gets down to the byline, and at this point in time, it's just gravy. Look at the composition by the back line of Michigan, not what you want, and unfortunately just a simple ball to display it right across. Nice little 1-0 jump out in front early.
By the way, Owen Finnerty has yet to make a save in the last 2 games. He did not have to make a save against Michigan State. And there's your goal scorer, number 5 of the year. We gave the right guy the drum roll in the Open today.
And it was easy to look at the match and say, okay, there's a bunch of white jerseys in my viewpoint. The problem was is they were running the wrong way. As a defender, you already want to be back, have your body positioned so that when ball does get spread across, you can step right into it. Everybody was chasing, so when it's tucked in behind them, it's much harder to turn around and go the other direction. That's why Matsalevich was just easy on the doorstep to tap it away.
Hallahan now Good switch of play out of Redditch, England. Usman now, who's a dribbler as well. That shot is blocked. Coming back in midfield there to win it was Matsalevich. 10 is Kronali, the senior captain. And it is senior day here at Maryland. Off and running is Malcolm Johnston. Johnston now squares it back, top of the box now. Still Maryland, looking confident after getting a little push early here from Michigan. Went down rather easily there. Crowd wanted a foul, not going to get it. Mark Kadlicek is your referee here today.
This is fun. Rubbin's racing, right? Nice little shoulder charge down in the corner. This is really well done by Jackson Reagan. Right at the edge of the box. You have to have a lot of confidence to step in, especially on a crafty player like Eli Kronali when he starts to make his step up. And that's something that we haven't necessarily addressed yet, where that lack of ability to maybe hit the final third running. They don't have a true number 10. They're hoping that Eli Kronali, with all of his beautiful footwork and distribution skills, can step in and fulfill that role. 3 or 4 games now where he's been much better. The goal he scored versus Penn State and their overtime loss was beautiful.
Great ball from Zaki out to Hallahan now. He's driving into the box for Michigan. The Wolverines going to get a corner here. So good switch of play from Zaki, who's making his way back in this lineup at the right time, the junior from Ghana. He had 6 shots against Michigan State. Kind of off the bench in that one. Didn't look particularly sharp, but they feel like they're getting him healthy at the right time. Hallahan off the corner now. They'll go towards the near post. They'll flick it on. Still loose in the box. It's still Michigan. Hallahan getting the ball in the right areas of the field here. A good right-footed cross here, the header. There is no foul. There is a goal. It is Zaki who has pushed it over the line. Maryland claiming their goalkeeper, Nicholas Neumann, was fouled. We were waiting for a whistle. It does not come. And Mohamed Zaki has scored to tie things up.
Surprised on this one, Glenn, because they always protect the goalkeeper in or around the 6. This is even closer. You're 1 yard off. And I'll tell you what, the second look around, he's almost straight vertical. Can't make a bigger argument than this one. As this ball gets whipped in, watch the second touch here. Straight up, there is a bit of momentum. That's a gray area, I got to be honest, where Neumann's got to feel a bit hard done. It's pressing towards him just a little bit. Sasha Zarowski has a pretty good point here, because the minute that starts to go towards the goalkeeper, ref should blow the whistle and we go the other way.
Nebojsa Popovic went right into the goalkeeper, Nicholas Neumann. The goal scorer, and it will stand, is Mohamed Zaki. It is 1-1 now. So Zaki trading goals with Matsalevich. Usman, boy, they need his wide game today. He can absolutely fly. Here he is for Michigan. Zaki now. It's a good sweeping tackle there. Timed perfectly by Brett St. Martin, who's been a bit of a warrior this year. He's filled in for Donovan Pines, who was the big man at center back last year when they won the national championship, and is now going on to Major League Soccer and DC United. Nobody attacks the ball. It's Zaki. Joel Harrison now. Hallahan. And his cross, he couldn't pull it out. Usman's going to get there. It's still Michigan in possession. Taking down towards the 35-minute mark. Comes back into the box. And they are intensifying the pressure. Harrison will play it wide again. Hallahan getting a ridiculous amount of the ball here early. He's going to get another cross in. Nobody at the back post for Michigan. Maryland can't get out of their own penalty area here. High pressing continuing from the Wolverines. Nice spell of play here from Michigan, who are really pinning Maryland back.
It's that second and third effort that we're seeing out of the visitors right now. Much like the goal where quick little ball to the back post. And then the second one, regardless of if it is a foul or not, still going after the goalkeeper. That's where communication has to be much better from Maryland. With all the shifting from set piece opportunities, you know where your initial mark is, but when the second and third ones comes through, okay, where do I rotate next? You got to look to guys like Brett St. Martin and Johannes Bergman on the back line.
Samake got it wide. Harrison pushes it forward. Here's Hallahan now. Again, he's teasing and tormenting. He's drawing 2 and 3 defenders. Of course, Shaka Daly said, look, he's got to decide when he gets a second and third defender around him that he's got to eliminate people and get the ball off his feet quicker at times just to set them up. But he is some dribbler. He is an exciting guy to watch on the ball, Jack Hallahan. Again, he's another one that missed injury. Both these teams have had seasons that they can certainly say that they have had some real injury problems to key guys at different times, including season-ending injuries to players like Brian Padilla and Paul Bin. When it comes to Maryland.
William James Hervé mixed into that as well. That's the offensive side that we were talking about coming into the broadcast, where they didn't have those big names. Paul Bin, of course, was part of that beautiful run in 2018. And Brian Padilla, it was his time. He was going to step up and really take the reins from the middle of the field. Crafty midfielder who could play the 10. You can move him outside and rotate through the 7. But the minute that he went down, it has just been one guy after another getting the opportunity. Hasn't necessarily taken full advantage of it, though. They're hoping, again, that like Crognale in the middle of the field will be the one to answer that call.
Benderosa knocks it inside. That's a tackle to get in there by Mark Ibarra. He's got 8 assists on the year. Can lay on that final pass for Michigan. Limited substitution in the college game. Come out in the first half. There is no re-entry in the second half. You can re-enter once. Left beautifully. It's Benderosa. Set up the game's first goal. Great curling cross! And the header is shifted into the far side netting. It is 2-1 Maryland. It is crossing and finishing at its best. The goal scorer, Crognale. Benderosa is setting things up here beautifully.
And it all starts from the no-look step over coming on the right side from Malcolm Johnston. Now we wondered, could Justin Harris step in on the left and provide that help? But you need the counterbalance, and that comes from their wing, number 11 on the right. So he leaves it, and you get the overlapping run once again from Benderosa. Beautiful ball whipped in. Eli Crognale, we asked over and over again, could he be the one to now step up and help this attack going forward? 2 goals in 2 games.
Got an assist in 4 straight as well. He is a senior. He is getting honored here on Captain's Day. He's a guy that covers ground, and this time comes from deeper in midfield to get a wonderful run at what is a delicious cross from Benderosa, who has decided today to be the orchestrator in attack. Well, the goals are flying in here, 3 of them early stages of this match. It's 2-1 Maryland.
Coming in, you look at Michigan, who's number 1 in the Big Ten, and nationally in goals against average, .73. And you and I talked about that. Like, look at all this talent on the defensive side of the ball, but that's being pushed by the wayside. I guess they took offense to the fact that maybe we were calling them out a little bit and they needed some more goals.
Joel Harrison right there, senior from Canada. Had a really serious injury in high school. Had this double hernia. He missed 22 months with that. Ended up getting into the Whitecaps Academy. He's made an incredible comeback. The right back for Michigan. Switch of play now. 12 is Austin Swike. He's going to quickly get put under pressure here. Usman. Got a goal and 2 assists, 15th appearance here for him today. Saki's not going to get there. And here is the wonderfully talented Johannes Bergman, the German. Also a senior being honored here today for Maryland. Matsalevich, still Matsalevich. He's pushed it towards the end line. It's Malcolm Johnston and can't get there. Out for the goal kick for Michigan here. Tuesday night on ESPN, the ESPN app, we tip off the college basketball season. It's the 9th annual State Farm Champions Classic. Madison Square Garden, the site. Top 4 teams in the nation will be there. Number 3, Kansas. Number 4, Duke at 7 Eastern. Then number 1, Michigan State, taking on number 2, Kentucky. Both are Sonic blockbusters. It's a time of the year when all the sports overlapping. Nothing bigger right now than what's going on here. Michigan against Maryland in NCAA college soccer. Jack Hallahan now has gotten a lot of space here on the right now. Zaki back towards Hallahan in the box and just swiveled out of there by Matt DeRosa, the brother of Ben, who's got 2 assists here. The DeRosa brothers have been locking it down in the outside back position here for a number of years. Michigan to the end line. They'll square it back. Richardson will knock it forward, throw in Michigan. 2-1 Maryland lead.
Some of the peanut gallery from the crew, supporters group from Maryland Terrapins and the student section starting to get involved, having some fun with Owenfinity. It was interesting chatting with Shaka Daly. We were talking about, okay, how would this transition and goal coming off the injury from Andrew Verdi take place? And he said, well, he's a very qualified goalkeeper, make no mistake about it. His ability to get a couple games with Detroit City FC this summer. However, it's a whole nother animal when you're standing in front of the student section at Maryland and they're yelling out your cell phone number.
It's a great environment here. They make it fun. You walk in here, you know it's a big day for the game of college soccer. The grilling's going on. There's a crispness in the air. The way they dress Ludwig Field up, it's a beautiful thing. All the trappings of a great college soccer game. Here's Usman now for Michigan. Couple of step overs, whips in a left-footed cross, came across the face of Popovich. And Hallahan had a wonderful chance here, but did not make the best of contact.
This is a difficult ball to take, bouncing on the pitch as it comes right back across. It's actually the questionable decision to leave it by Popovich, goal scorer in the Big Ten. You feel like any time a ball is headed his way, he's going to have a crack, but he gets a call and he trusts it. That's one of the bigger things you have to remember. A lot of these guys on the pitch right now were part of that beautiful run by the Wolverines last year. Of course, Michigan State was right there with them. The Wolverines felt like they had the better squad, and whether you agree with that or not, it doesn't matter this year because they've brought back so many starters and, again, finally getting healthy.
Both these teams feel like they're in a good position here to time it right. With the conference tournament right around the corner and the NCAA tournament. Here's Hallahan. He'll curl it towards the back post, out for the goal kick. Tuesday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. We'll have an exclusive reveal of the first college football top 25 rankings of the season. This will come live from Madison Square Garden. In between games at the Champions Classic, Reese and the guys will break them down from top to bottom, coaches' reactions, as well as live interview with committee chairman Rob Mullins. This is all Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, to Shaka Daly's comments to us, he has gotten Jack Hallahan into a much higher position here today. He's gotten a lot of the ball on the right side.
Shape's definitely changing as well because they're willing to almost defend with 3 at times in the middle of the field, allowing Hallahan to push up top with Popovich and Zaki. And the question is when numbers continue to go forward, can he now be that two-way player if Maryland starts to push?
That's a good switch of play. Here's Usman now in full flight. He'll cut it in. Weaving, zigzagging. Maryland trying to play it out of the back here. Matsalevich came all the way back to be a part of the build-up here. No, the condensed schedule, the injuries, timing it right in the tournaments, all such a big part of it. And there's a lot that could be taken out of this game for both these teams. Cross whipped into the box and over the top. Zaki was in there. And that delivery coming inside the 6, a dangerous moment here for Maryland and a good attacking moment for Michigan.
This is what some of the Wolverines have been missing. And yes, it's not just the goals in the middle, but it's Zaki and that big presence. Notice Popovich dropping back to almost the penalty mark. He's been the one chasing the balls in games past where he's had to go and find a way to be the playmaker and then do things in one-on-one situations. Now that they have Zaki back, they have that 1-2 punch.
Callahan's been getting a lot of crosses in here. That was a great opportunity for Zaki. Michigan leading 5-2 in shots. Maryland 2 for 2 on their 2 shots. Getting goals here today from Matsalevich and Kornali. DeRosa, as in Ben, with the 2 assists.
See what you did there? You got to be clear, right? There's 2 of them, so fair enough.
Cushioned down by Brett St. Martin. He's going to go back to the goalkeeper, Niklas Neumann from Kessel, Germany. He's part of the Kaiserslautern under-19 setup. And he is the reigning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week in goal for Maryland. Mark Ibarra not happy with this. Called for the foul on Kornali.
The referee's saying no, he's lucky not to end up in the book, and with all the change in shape that we just referenced, pushing 3 up and then going flat 3 in the middle, this time they do compress 4, and Mark Ibarra does shift into that diamond shape down underneath. And it provides you multiple levels, but it's also the ability for one-on-one marking when Eli Kornali, that man right there, number 10, attacking midfielder for Maryland, stands over the ball, and when he shifts in behind, you now have to drag yourself and jump 15, 20 yards to go chase the player. Unfortunately, just trailing too far behind.
Usman. Oh, he just glides out of midfield here. He's got his head up. He's waiting for somebody to get in front of him. And in the end is going to lose it there to the sweeping tackle from Matt DeRosa. But boy, how quickly he eats space up, Devin.
They've obviously done their homework because you've got Ben DeRosa, Johannes Bergman, the big boys on the back line coming up in the set piece opportunities. So when they transition, they look to counter quickly. That's the composition on the back line, but more so, you've got one of your captains way up high in Johannes Bergman, and they know that if they can strike quickly, it's a much better look for them.
Swike. Ibarra. There's Mark Ibarra. Works a give and go. Oh, what a ball from Ibarra. It's Popovich. He'll blast it, and it goes off the side netting. But Ibarra showing off his passing skills and vision there, setting up Popovich.
The first time you and I saw this kid in person last year was at Michigan in the Ohio State game. And we were talking about who were the playmakers that I really wanted to look at, guys that had an impact. You could talk about Robbie Mertz and Ivo Serda, but I was high on Mark Ibarra, and this is exactly why. We just referenced the deep position he holds on the defensive side of the ball, but he's obviously willing to explore the offensive end as well. That's why he's got 8 assists to his credit, because he's got that quick little step, and he's got to make guys keep heads on their swivel because they did not do a good enough job as he started to push forward in a higher line.
Boy, wonderful work to give and go, and then found Popovich, who had pulled off, and that was a ball that deserved a better ending. Certainly from the Big Ten's leading scorer. Here's Ibarra again now. Nice switch of play, good idea there to get it to Swike. Swike has got Usman to his left. Zaki had checked towards the ball and will now spin off. Ibarra again, just gets it off his feet beautifully. Harrison, Hallahan now. Usman is on. Ibarra looked him off. So a little confidence through possession here now for Michigan. Samake. Swike. He's kind of holding it at the halfway line, trying to tease Maryland out. You can hear the cheering there from the great supporters group here at Maryland, the crew. Nothing like being a college player playing in front of your peers and your fellow student athletes. Extended possession. Maryland getting teased out a little bit here, but have kept a nice firm team shape. Harrison now trying to penetrate down the right side, and the Terps will win it back for the moment. Harrison again now. Hallahan, bit of a step over here, trying to get to the end line. Crosses block, goes out for the corner to Michigan. The Wolverines here, an opportunity now ticking down towards the 19th minute. Their second corner earned here today.
A little bit of fortunate as well on this ball coming back in, because the first time ball was in to Jack Hallahan. But much like we saw in the opening 10 minutes, that second, third chance, they're willing to give that extra effort. You got to pin this Maryland team in.
Hallahan towards the near post.
Halfway.
Umar Usman knocks it back. Zaki. Abdou Samake. Zaki balloons that cross way towards the far side of the field. Hallahan is going to get there. He's got Usman on the same side of the field. Hallahan lost it, out for the goal kick for Maryland here. How about to this moment assess what's been going on here today, starting with Maryland's second goal here with Corneliu coming from deep.
Not surprising, once again, we're calling Ben DeRosa's name, who has been the assist maker on both of them, and that extra step was what we were looking for. Justin Harris on the left, Malcolm Johnston on the right, but the counterpart is Matsalevich up top. Who was going to fulfill that role? And Eli Crognale has showed us some glimpses that he could be that guy to help push the balls up top, but could he be the finisher? When it came time for someone to step up and be clinical, you saw a glimpse against Penn State with a wondrous strike from distance. This one a little bit closer, but well worked by the Terrapins.
When Maryland went on that undefeated run through the NCAA tournament, got to the College Cup and won it over Akron, 1-0 in the final, Crognale was named to the College Cup All-Tournament team. Had that great goal against Penn State, despite that being a 3-2 loss. They're coming off a loss at Penn State where they had a 2-0 lead early and just kind of fatigued down the stretch and ended up losing in overtime 3-2. Maryland trying to break through here. Samake, and he's going to get fouled, free kick. Maryland program has won 4 national titles, 3 of them under Sasho Cirovski.
Some of these challenges unnecessary. You did a good job of working a high line for Maryland, and then you give a silly foul away like that. When you start to counterpunch and work your way back up the field, you've got to realize your moments.
Popovich now has found some good space. Maryland trying to get back here, and they will. And it's Matt DeRosa now. Nice entry ball. Matsalevich providing the outlet. 6 is David Kovacic, who we haven't mentioned a lot today here, but does a lot of the balancing and holding, Devin.
It's one of those midfielders that is the pivot point, even as like Crognale comes so deep into the midfield. Gotta find a way to really work him into the game more, because the way that they insert their outside mids, and that was a good look at it, Malcolm Johnson stepping in, he really hugs the midfielders. If you're going to come that close in, use it to your advantage. Play in those 2- and 3-man triangles and play off of each other, because the long switch to the right side, if Ben DeRosa hasn't pushed himself up high to make that run, you have to utilize what's right in front of you, and they're not necessarily making the best decisions right now.
5 minutes in, Matsalevich, 5th of the season, set up by Ben DeRosa. Zaki would tie it in the 9th, somewhat controversially, and Pernale in the 13th. So 3 goals in 13 minutes. Things have settled down, and we gave a big drum roll to the fact that these are two very good collective defending teams here. Hallahan, cross-blocked. Of course, Maryland staring into a very bright sun here. If you're Michigan, talk about coming here. There was a lot of concern about coming to play in this environment, and how have you handled it so far?
The start's not the best, right? You go down immediately, opening 10 minutes. But the question was going to be, okay, how can you respond? You've given up that early goal. So I give them credit there. It's really well done by to showcase some of their force up top. The likes of Zaki coming off of their center back, Jackson Reagan, a centerpiece. But then the letdown. And they always talk about, Glenn, when you score a goal, what's the next 5 minutes look like? And that's been very storytelling of this match so far, because Indiana comes out, Maryland comes out, sets the pace, then a response, then Maryland again.
Here's Broach, just came into the game. Comes on for Popovich.
Get in the box, Derek!
Cross is blocked. Trying to get that one over that time was Carlos Tellez from Hollywood, Florida. Quick throw from Harrison. Terps have won it back here. In the low 50s this afternoon here in College Park, Maryland. Number 17 in the nation, Maryland 2-1 lead over Michigan.
This is the right call by the referee. Ball just popped up off the pitch. Grabs the hand, doesn't allow them to counter. Justin Harris, the guilty party. Now they allow Jackson Reagan to come up. Remember, he was the one on the second ball who sent it back across to Zaki. That's how they got their goal. So keep an eye. Number 25, use that big body. He likes to peel off, and they'll use him as a set piece all the way to the backside of the 6. Doesn't matter if it's direct or the second chance opportunity.
Hallahan to deliver here. Delivery is important. Gets it right in towards goal. Ball is still loose. Coming off his line was Neumann. And as the counterattack on here for Maryland, it still could develop here. Touch is too long. Osman wins it. Osman gets fouled. And Umar Osman down. Quick free kick here taken. It's Hallahan now. Hallahan has gotten space here and a lot of the ball. Cross was behind Broach. Here's Swike now. He got out of there nicely. Zaki. Mark Ibarra. Nice running here from Austin Swike. Gets across into the near post. Zaki, and scooping it up off his line, Neumann.
And that's one of those moments where you reference Shaka Daly talking about Jack Hallahan and how when he gets into 2v1 or 3v1, let go of the ball. This time he's one-on-one, and he's one-on-one against Johannes Bergman, a flat-footed center back who does have speed, but his positioning went off. Run at him, take that little touch, drop the gears, and push this into overdrive and go at him, because you get around the outside and you've got yourself a chance to go one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Possession heavily favoring Michigan here today. They've had the territorial play. They have gotten a lot of crosses into the box. They've only been able to be successful once here. It's Hallahan again who's going to get a crossover, but again it doesn't hit the right area. Here's Usman now. Tellez. Joel Harrison has joined in. Hallahan again. Samake from the Montreal Impact Academy, a senior from Canada. Ibarra. And overhit it out for the goal kick. Well, it's flashback 2018 Santa Barbara, California. Game-winning goal there. Sejdic from the penalty spot. Sasha Surovsky, the Maryland Terps, go unscored upon through the entire NCAA tournament, which is remarkable.
Took down Akron, Kentucky, John Kerr Sr. Duke. I mean, a lot of big names in there the blue bloods, if you will, of college soccer that stood in the way of this Maryland Terrapin squad. Kind of the same sentiment coming out of Sasha Surowski's camp this year, that they're losing a lot of attacking pieces, but really feels like they're in a good place. And from an overall play, that eye test, if you will, feels like they're right where they need to be, and got a pretty quality run of play in them yet. Make a little run at this.
Austin Swike with the big switch. He measured that pass. Tellez now tries to get to the feet of Hallahan. It's going to go all the way out to Broach out of the Columbus Crew Academy. And Maryland now. Matsalevich always that outlet. Tried to one-time a ball there. Again, Michigan, the last 2 seasons, have beaten Maryland. And there was some concern about them matching the right energy level here and not being overhyped coming into this type of an environment, but they seem to be settled in just nicely here.
And the way that they're playing, you would almost look at the score and cock your head a little bit and say, really? But providing themselves those opportunities is the biggest key here. This is a team that, witnessing firsthand just a few games ago, they went on the road to Todd Yeagley's boys in Indiana, and they were amazing in the first half, but all those chances that we referenced here were the same thing there, and they couldn't find the back of the net. Hit second half, they go down 1-0 and just could never find their way back in. And it's great, again, that you have the #1 scorer in Popovich, but if he's not on, someone else has to.
Matsalevich trying to break through. Great tackle there by Tellez. Usman, Swike, Usman. Hallahan's layoff, not a good one, but you kind of think about the amount of crosses he's had. He's certainly had a lot of opportunity to get the ball over here today, which has to be a positive for Michigan. Then you just say, how come there's not more end product? Far side of the field. We got Malcolm Johnston down. There's Malcolm Johnson, 3 goals, 3 assists on the year out of Canada. Such a versatile option for Sasha Surowski. Played at the same youth club as last year's goalkeeper Dane St. Clair, who is now in Major League Soccer with Minnesota United. Usman will come out, Pithers will come on. So Harrison Pithers on for Michigan.
Actually a little surprised here that they haven't gone to Kevin Buka, a guy who plays in the middle next to Mark Ibarra, but on the outside as well. Very tactful player who, trying to go in transition, doesn't necessarily have a massive amount of speed. Just on the far side of that screen with Malcolm Johnson, another outside midfielder. Nice to see him up again. Conversely, with Michigan getting everybody back, Maryland really turning into the walking wounded. The last thing they want is another player, especially a playmaker in the offensive third, to go down.
And again, the option of him being able to play in multiple positions, such a wonderful thing for Sasha Surowski. So coming on is Chakrun. 7th appearance for him, limited minutes, freshman out of Georgia.
One of the things you always talk about when you look at Maryland Terrapin's program is their pedigree, and you referenced a couple of the other players, but Jacob Chakrun, another one of those where he's a freshman, but the Lungi Sports Academy and the Concord Fire, 2 youth programs out of Georgia that are actually quite impressive, and she got the opportunity through his ODP escapades, trained with Sampdoria and Mallorca, probably heard of them before, go have a little fun in the offseason, go train with some pro teams.
Some of the opportunities young players are getting now to get into different environments, absolutely remarkable now. Michigan going to make a change as well. Both teams going to their bench quite a bit here towards the end of the first half. Less than 8 minutes left here.
Jack, 25 on the strike, Jack. Let's have a look.
Sosa Imovan getting set to come on for Michigan.
Jackie!
So Zaki coming off. Imovan coming on. A Week 9 Monday Night Football matchup has Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, the NFC East leading Cowboys at MetLife Stadium. They're taking on Saquon Barkley and the Giants. It's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Our coverage will begin Monday Night Countdown at 6. Dallas, 5 straight against the Giants, including a 35-17 win in Week 1.
Don't chase the same ball!
Swike. So Hallahan showing up now on the left side of the field, trying to get this forward towards Broach, who came on. Broach applying the pressure here. Both teams have subbed off a couple of players to give them a breather now here. Nebojsa Popovich, the leading scorer in the Big Ten, subbed off by Shaka Daly, as well as Mohamed Zaki, their goal scorer. It is still 2-1 Glenn Davis, Devin Kerr. Hope you're enjoying this on ESPNU. Again, a tie and a win. These teams guarantee that, tie or a win, they guarantee that they're going to host in the Big Ten tournament. The other result to keep an eye on here is Michigan State at Indiana, which could throw a little wrench into things, especially if one of these two teams were to lose here today. That's a late foul there on Samake. By Matsale, but she can throw himself around a little bit.
He's trying to make some friends. This probably isn't the right way to do it. Nasty little tackle from behind. Shaka Daly playing a bit of chess on the sideline right now, moving some pieces around, not necessarily playing the tactician, just trying to give his boys a breather. Quick little rest, conversation at halftime, and something to think about when you do start to get everybody healthy. Everybody's battle tested, right? Derek Broach was basically the running partner up top for Popovich until the return of Zaki, which again is just recent. So when you need to make that sub, you still have a supplement in the form of a guy who's put 4 goals in the back of the net himself. Always a good look.
Cornali knocked it to Matt DeRosa. Terps in possession here, holding a 2-1 lead. Brett St. Martin, they're going to want to manage their lead better than they did at Penn State. Had a 2-0 lead very early down there at State College at Jeffrey Field, and ended up losing 3-2 in overtime. Sasha Sarofsky telling us he thought they might have lost their legs a little bit. They got fatigued, but got off to a spectacular start there. What a win that was for Penn State.
It's an uncharacteristic move by the Terps on the road. But, I mean, you got to give credit to Penn State and everything Jeff Cook's done, right? They talked about the rebuilding of that program. Well, how do you like him now? He's basically done it in 18 months, moved them into a pretty impressive role nationally. We'll talk about that at halftime.
Behind him, Jack, behind him!
Ben DeRosa. Last ball not there, out for the goal kick. You can hear the oohs and ahs here at Ludwig Field.
Think about how long it's been since we've seen a buildup like that in this game, though. Opening 15, 20 minutes. A lot of pretty impressive play coming out of the home squad. The Wolverines have definitely started to really work themselves into it. Marky Barr started to get going. Jack Hallahan, a lot of opportunities. You don't want to have deja vu like you did at the Indiana match, where all of these are no longer available to you in the second half. But both of these coaches so talented, they will 100% be making changes at halftime in terms of what the composition of these teams are going to look like going forward.
Adetola. All the way back to the goalkeeper now they go. To Neumann. Big towering header. And getting up powerfully and putting his head through that. There's Joel Harrison in the box it comes and out for the goal kick. Quality of the crossing does have to be considered a little bit here today, because if you're Michigan, you got to say, look, we've gotten into good wide areas here today. We haven't had that final ball. Volume across is good, maybe not the quality.
And the reaction isn't the greatest either. I mean, you don't want someone to overhit the ball, but even when you spray it 15 yards over someone's head, where's the second run coming from? And in finite areas, they've actually done quite well for themselves. Of course, they got their goal off the set piece early on. But when it's an open run of play, got to react better.
Michigan has had the territorial play. They've times made it time for Maryland to get out, but Maryland has been efficient in their finishing. Here they come again. On the stroke of halftime. And now they're making a bit of a push here. Adetola. Ball clipped in towards the back post. It's just a down shot is blocked. Oh, good look at it there. Kovacic, I believe, trying the swiveling volley. But it may have been Chakroun. Nonetheless, he looked like he had a lot of time for that to drop. Maryland again. First half is going to come to an end here. All is cleared. So Maryland with a 2-1 lead at halftime. Devin, how about your thoughts?
A little bit surprised by the scoreline, to be honest, because Michigan has had the better run of form, but it's the couple opportunities that Maryland has pushed, something like this where you start to get the rotation off of each other. We said if you're going to compact yourself into smaller spaces, you got to work together, communicate, bounce off, nice triangular play, and this was the perfect example of it. Nice little ball in, taken off the chest, and then first time opportunity. That's one of the substitutions. Jason Chakroun stepping in, but the midfield play, you got to find a way to get those three talented guys on the ball a bit more.
Let's go down to the head coach of Maryland, Sasho Cirovski. Sasho, how about your thoughts here in the first half? Thank you for joining us.
Well, obviously got off to a great start. Scored two really well-taken goals. Got the ball wide. Some good runs, good deliveries. And overall, very happy with the fact that we're up a goal. Obviously, Michigan is very good on the counter. They're getting the ball wide. Hallahan is a handful with his services, and we've got to make sure we contain that. We do have to get a bit more possession of the ball. Particularly our forwards got to hold it up a little bit more. Midfielders got to get the ball at their feet. But overall, it's a good performance.
Sasho, we'll let you get into the locker room. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Sasho Cirovski there, hired in 1993, winning national titles in 05, 08, and 2018. When we come back, we unveil the national top 16 by the NCAA. It's Maryland, a 2-1 lead over Michigan here on ESPNU. Welcome back to Ludwig Field here on the campus of Maryland. It is second half about to get underway here between Maryland and Michigan. A big second half for both teams. Maryland in black, Michigan in the white, and it's game on here in the second half in College Park, Maryland. Go to you, Devin, right away. Give me a note or two on each team, what you'd like to see here in the second half.
Was impressed with the overall possession from Michigan, but a bit predictable at times. You and I were talking about the movement in the middle of the field. When we saw Marky Barr take that extra step and break the line of pressure, it started to create better opportunities going to goal, but they got to finish. Again, this Maryland team is pretty impressive. They make changes at halftime, and some of that will be trying to find a way to get Eli Crognale on the ball a bit more. From about minute 25, minute 30, 35, he started to drift out because he was coming so deep, and they didn't have the ability to push into the final third. 2 chances closing 5 minutes. He stayed high. They found him.
Hallahan, nice layoff there from Hallahan. Here's Popovich now. Trying to blaze a trail of his own here. Got taken off at the end of the first half. Still Popovich. Hallahan now. He really needs to step up here on the big occasions. That's a good-looking cross. The header! Oh, it's all tied up. Fantastic delivery. Broach has scored it. And the Michigan Wolverines have tied things up. We were looking for more end product off Hallahan delivery. Well, this is called end product.
Could you have scripted this any better? Ask and you shall receive. Jack Hallahan on the right wing talked everything about his right foot, how it's gotten so much better. Do not sleep on your morals and values, which is the left foot of Jack Hallahan. The quick little touch in immediately releases. When you play at a higher tempo, it's that much more difficult to account for the trailing runs, and you get that out of the substitute at the end of the first half, Derek Broach. He loves that relationship with Popovich up top.
Broach will get his 5th. It is a tying goal now for Michigan. And they take a page out of Maryland's book, scoring very early here in the second half. It's going to be a free kick now, Maryland. Derek Broach in the 47th minute. Tremendous header, the delivery from Jack Hallahan, who picks up assist number 6 on the year.
I think you're not going to get a lot of opportunities in the second half. That's fine. We'll go get one in the opening 5 minutes. Really well done. And Broach was the guy coming off the bench. We said once they got everybody back, he was one of those battle-tested substitutes they could go to.
Ball's flicked on here into the box. It's a scramble. It's a shot from Michigan. They're claiming handball, but there is none. A shot here, parried away at the near post. And that's a big save there for Owen Finnerty. Broach in pursuit here. He's going to push back Nick Richardson. Richardson will turn away from the pressure here beautifully. It's a long ball. It's lobbed in. Again, now Michigan will have to look into the sun here in the second half. Nice switch of play.
Nebosha, show up, Nebosha.
Hallahan.
There you go. Stay there. Support it underneath.
Towards the end line, tackled away. It's going to be a corner here for Michigan. Let's go back to this flurry from Maryland.
Michigan starts it fast. They go get their goal. Now let's see. Is this a penalty? Quick release. Hits his hand. Don't care. Look where his hands are, though. Tucked in next to the body. That's beautiful positioning. Right around the backside. Now the second one come back around. Second chance opportunities seem to be where this is headed. Storyline all night long. And how about Owen Finnerty finally making a save, doing a good job bailing his boys out.
Confidence building save for him. He's been in the fire. Replaced the injured Andrew Verdi. Third corner here. Hallahan will take it. Goes towards the near post. Ball has still not been cleared here by Michigan, or by Maryland. Samake. Hallahan. Another wicked driving cross into the box, and Maryland will defend this. But Hallahan's starting to get the ball into a better area here. Usman is on the same side of the field as him. Are you concerned about the lack of pressure on this delivery coming from Hallahan?
You're inside my mind right now because they are giving him too much respect.
Into the box it comes. It's headed across the face of goal. Right in the mix there was Reagan Jackson, who remained forward after the corner. And it's a goal kick here for Maryland.
It's a tough position to be in going up against Jack Hallahan, and we talked about that, how he's gotten so much better on his right foot, pushing down in and knocking balls in. But as a defender, you don't want to give up the inside of the field. So you push him to the outside, allow for support to come and help you. The minute that you turn your hips and he pushes inside, he's beat you. Because now he can push all the way to the outside in trailing runs, or he can go it alone, and that's what you're starting to see out of Jack Hallahan.
And Matt DeRosa's been matched up with him a lot, but he'll certainly need the support of
Where are you going?
Kovacic and others.
20 yards. Come on. Just a little bit, Jack. Just a little bit.
Cornali.
Derek, keep behind, Derek!
Hallahan gliding forward here. He's pushed it out wide. It's a cross that took a deflection towards the near post. And it ended up putting a good opportunity there, and the ball going right into the path of the run of Broach.
You can hear it from Sasha Sharovsky on the sideline. The minute this ball gets played into Hallahan, he says it's too easy. Again, too much space being given. And you really got to give a quality nod to the boys on the back post here. Popovich dropping back in. Derek Broach, you've got moves coming on the left side of the field as well. Trailing runs from Tejas Ibarra in the middle.
Hallahan off the corner. This one's going to be towards the back post. Tried the near post a few times there for the flick on. Ball's going to come back into the box. So this is the one we're keeping an eye on. Indiana, number 10 in the nation, with a 1-0 lead over Michigan State. If Michigan State were to win that game and somebody loses here, either Maryland or Michigan could lose home field advantage in the Big Ten tournament.
The biggest thing is they have to win. You know, in a perfect world, you'd love to be able to have a bit of gray area, but they don't. They got to get 3 points, and down 1 goal on the road, that's a difficult ladder you're going to have to climb. And even if they get 1 back, this result still keeps them out as well. So they got to find a way to push themselves back up. Go get 2. It's a tall ask at Yeagley Field, though.
Yeah, Michigan State does not want to draw here. And the way these two teams are playing, they don't want to draw either. Driven ball. It's going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Owen Finnerty. He is a freshman. It's only his 3rd appearance. Credited with the shutout over Michigan State. Did not have to make a save.
Derek, come on over, Derek!
But has come up with 1 nice near post save here today. Again, only a freshman. Usman. Gotten a lot out of Hallahan. Have they gotten enough out of Usman out wide here today, Michigan?
Definitely not. Boatload out of Jack Hallahan, but much like the 1-2 from Maryland and their wingers, they've pretty much been one-sided. And you asked me coming in, you know, who did they need more out of? And I said they needed to find a way to be a bit more clinical in the final third. Not a lot of chances were going to come their way in the second half. Well, whether or not I have to eat my words or not is a different story. But it's being predictable in your actions as well. When you know you're always going one way, a team, you can shift that way. Now, they're definitely not doing themselves any favors, because as they continue to feed Hallahan, you should know that they're going that side, and they're just not tracking appropriately. You open up the left side now, too. You get that 1-2. Now your boys up top have a bit more space to operate.
There's Ibarra. Ibarra's only a junior. The nice thing about Mark Ibarra, from Ann Arbor, Michigan, local area. Grew up in and around campus. Always love having those players that have grown up near the university or college and made their way to the pinnacle of the program. Again, the clock ticks down in the college game. If you're subbed out here in the second half, you can re-enter once. Plays into the substitution patterns. Ibarra's cross falls at the top of the box. It's cleared there. It's whacked out of there by Nick Richardson of Maryland. Swike knocked it forward. Broach, who's tied things up early here in the second half. Usman. Again, it's cycled into the box. Hallahan, 3-2. Did it go over the line? Yes, it did. It is 3-2 now. Michigan, who have come storming out here in the second half. Looks like Hallahan is going to get credit for this goal.
Hey, get into it now!
Sasha Sarovsky immediately going to his bench, and he's still yelling even though they're up. He's saying, get into it now. How can you not account for the back post run of Jack Hallahan? Doesn't matter how good he is with the ball at his feet. If he is left open in wide open space, he is going to make you pay. All he does is step 3 spaces to the inside, puts his head on it with a bit of power. Perfect technique, driving right through the ball. Little kiss from the woodwork, and his boys are out in front.
It's the underside of the crossbar, goes in. We talked about more end product from Jack Hallahan. Well, we've gotten that today here in the second half. He's got an assist, he's got a goal. It is 3-2 Michigan, down 2-1 at the half. They are now up.
Carlos, go for the save ball!
2 goals in 10 minutes for the Wolverines.
Good, good.
Hallahan again getting huge space here. Michigan is running over Maryland right now in the beginning of the second half. Usman now. Tellez will try one from longer range. It had some movement into it, but some good handling there by Neumann.
Good, Carlos, good, good.
Here he is, second of the season for Hallahan. But he's also picked up a very crucial assist here in the second half to the header of Broach.
Remember, he had 8 last year. That's just an astronomical number that they were hoping he was going to be able to replicate, especially with that left foot of his. This time they go the aerial route and are going to be very happy with his performance on the night. More importantly, 10 minutes just outside of into the second half. They're the aggressors. They were on some quality possession spells in the first half, but that front foot where you started to push forward wasn't always there. Once you cross 30, 40 yards from goal, who could be creative and go after this back line? And they just didn't have that look to them, but a lot more confidence here in the second half.
So here you go in the second half. Broach and Hallahan. 3-2 now, Michigan.
Derek, in that channel, wait, Derek.
Joel Harrison's pass is blocked.
It's out, it's already out.
Cornale there.
Already out. Lead the ball, lead the ball, lead the ball. Don't press him out.
Well, we spoke about Jack Hallahan, and we basically posed that question here at the beginning of the second half. When will we get more quality out of him? He certainly was getting the ball in the right areas of the field in the first half. Well, now we've seen a quality header from him and some quality delivery. And Maryland really in a little bit of trouble here, a little bit of chaos at the back.
Everything's quicker, though, to the decision-making is faster. The little touches, even that one right there, where Tellez steps up into the middle. He's not trying to bring it down. He knows that he's got a run coming from Derek Broach up top, and they're playing off of each other so much better compared to the first half.
Matchup here between 2 Big Ten heavyweights. Final Big Ten regular season match of the year. You're at Ludwig Field, campus of Maryland, College Park, Maryland. Glenn Davis, Devin Kerr. Michigan has stormed out here in the second half. Broach and Hallahan, they've got a 3-2 lead over number 17 in the nation, Maryland.
Scenario you don't necessarily want to be giving up fouls like this. Mark Ibarra, beautiful tactician on the ball, and gives you the green light. A lot of big bodies up there.
Off the free kick to the back post. That one's easily going to be handled there by Niklas Neumann. Neumann was rotating in goal at the beginning of the year, won the job. Johannes Bergman, Matt DeRosa.
Carlos in between here. Carlos, he's down here. Carlos.
Johannes Bergman, what a winner, what a leader. He's played for the German under-18 and under-20 national team. Experienced center back, some good combination play here now from Michigan. Popovich towards Usman, tackled away.
We don't have it, Jack. We don't have it. 10 yards to the halfway. 10 yards into the halfway line. Good.
Michigan going to get a free kick here.
Direction given by Shaka Daly on the sideline, or even a seasoned player like Jack Hallahan can stretch back over a little bit. And he's starting to push a really high line. He says, you know what, Jack, we don't have it. He knew the press wasn't there. Pulled this player back just next to the midfield line so that if it did get countered, he was already in the right spot.
Tellez now trying to get here first. He's gotten inside of Bergman. Bergman collared him to slow him up. Good work from Tellez. Hallahan now for Michigan. He goes towards the end line. He gets nudged. Michigan wants a foul. They're not going to give it to him. It's going to be a goal kick now for Maryland.
They wanted a foul, and the linesman actually pointed to the corner, giving the visitors another opportunity, and there's not enough there. This is much better defending by Johannes Bergman. Again, the speed isn't necessarily there for the center back. It's when you get into the angles game, when you step back over, put a body on him. You don't want to take him to ground. Just a little love tap, help you out.
Hallahan, Tellez, back to Hallahan. Big tackle there. Stepping up beautifully was Bergman. Beautifully timed. Hallahan still sitting down on the field.
Derek, play right side, Derek. Bend the right side here. Derek, leave him up front. Stay on that side.
Slow to get up. Goal and an assist in the second half for him. He did have some injury problems earlier in the year. Missed a couple of games.
Jack, we need you able to run. We can check you.
It's a good shout from his manager. Shaka Daly, we need you able to run. Says, you know, we can check you. He has no problem bringing him off, but you got to give me a nod as to whether or not you can go. I don't want to go down to 10 men, or at least have someone who is a bit hurt when I have the ability to give you a further look.
Well, and Hallahan, Zaki, Osman all missed games of importance during the regular season. But he made it very clear to us, Shaka Daly, that these types of players, they have to deliver at this time of the year.
Especially when the writing's on the wall. You know what your team's made of. You understand what job is in front of you. At some point in time, you can talk tactics and this, that, and the other. You just got to go out and execute, and that's what you're getting here in the second half out of Jack Hallahan.
Johannes Bergman knocks it forward. Headed away by Reagan Jackson. Cornali. Michigan gets a throw.
Jack, you sure? Want to give you a strike?
Gobu warming up now for Maryland.
Can we sub for him?
Michigan getting set to make a change as well. Gotten a little bit choppy here with fouls, and Justin Harris brought down by Joel Harrison. It's going to be a free kick now for Maryland.
Slow things down here. Take a page out of Michigan's book. You saw how they brought all their big boys up. Let Johannes Bergman and Brett St. Martin have a little fun. It's all about the distribution. Put it right around that penalty mark.
Cornali goes down the line. DeRosa's cross took a deflection, headed away by Reagan Jackson. Cornali again into the box and easily handled there. And pouncing on it is the freshman goalkeeper Owen Finnerty. Swike. Hallahan is on out wide here. He'll get it to his feet.
Hold the ball, Derek.
Played it on. Oh, good use of the body there by Broach. And he's got an opportunity here. Could have got an early crossing. Goes back to Hallahan, who's going to curl it, and that just goes wide. Jack Hallahan is feeling it here in the second half. A goal and an assist, and a lot of confidence coming back into his game.
They're going to bring him off right now to take a look as well, make sure that he's okay after that tackle.
Tuesday night, ESPN app, we tip off the college basketball season. 9th annual State Farm Champions Classic from Madison Square Garden. Top 4 teams in the nation. We'll have number 3 Kansas, number 4 Duke at 7, then number 1 Michigan State taking on number 2 Kentucky. And both are Sonic blockbusters. State Farm Champions Classic from Madison Square Garden. And we're getting differing seasons all overlapping here at this time of the year. Early November.
Men on, help it on.
In the stretch run of the college
Think, Carlos, think.
men's soccer championship, which NCAA College Cup this year in Cary, North Carolina. Wake Med Soccer Park.
Second. There you go. Carlos,
Game seems to have gotten a little bit chaotic here, Devin.
Everyone trying to figure themselves out as they start to move a lot of pieces around, with Jacob Chakroun coming onto the field next to Nick Richardson. Eli Crognale still holding serve in the middle of the park, but he's actually shifting left a little bit as they've dropped Matsalevich just down in next to him, allowing Luke Brown to start to push higher. It's not a traditional 4-3-3, as he's still got a couple other bodies, and Isaac Ngobu out on the left that can help stretch this game, but everybody not necessarily holding exactly where they're supposed to be.
Usman knocks it forward. Here's Popovich now trying to get turned. Really has been Hallahan's day. Popovich came in with the big drum roll as the number 1 goal scorer and leader in points in the Big Ten, but Jack Hallahan today with a goal and an assist here in the second half is leading the way. And we got to talk about Derek Broach and contributions he's made, not only from scoring a wonderful goal, but also the effort and sort of the energy that he has brought to Michigan.
It's the energy we talked about out of Matsalevich from Maryland, right? How he takes pride in how much work ethic he's put in, and the minute that he came on at the tail end of the first half, it was a different look for this team up top. So many opportunities being thrust into the spotlight by Jack Hallahan, but weren't necessarily getting onto him, nor was his delivery the best, but that's all changed now. And look at just venturing out a bit further, not stagnant in the middle of the field. And whether Shaka Daly is scoreboard watching and not, he'll be quite happy with that result so far, as the center back standout from Indiana, Jack Mayer, gets a goal.
Hoosiers up over the Spartans of Michigan State, 1-0. Ball whipped in there and driven in there by a man that has done a lot of the dirty work today. Carlos Tellez has been impressive. This ball crossed in towards the back post, not able to get on the end of it. Is Michigan. It glided through everybody. Kevin Buka, who getting his first minutes, almost gets the vital touch.
This was the kid I was surprised they didn't bring in at the tail end of the first half to really stretch the game, and he's the one that doesn't have the ability to get up in the air and win those balls. When it's in a second or third trickler on the back post run, why not?
Sophomore from Rochester, Michigan, Buka. Finnerty not going to take any chances with this one.
That's out of bounds.
It's Maryland.
That's not a foul. That's not a foul. We're done, Kev.
Popovich coming back into it.
Come on, drop, boys.
It's Maryland. Crognale. So Terps in possession here now.
Great work. Keep working.
Ticking down towards 22 minutes left. Trying to fight his way through there was Nick Richardson. The header knocked into the channel. Is there a tying goal? Takes a deflection, and Finnerty will gather this one in.
This is it, right? That was 3. Beautiful build-up by Maryland. And a lovely little header in just behind Luke Brown, one of the attacking options that Sasha Surofsky hope can lead this team into the future.
He was just saying to us, he needs a goal. He's close to getting that goal. Had a good opportunity, a window to get a shot off there. He's got 1 assist, 14 appearances. Kind of guy, he said, that can win a game for you.
When you watch his play, too, if you just watch the tape, outside of knowing his statistics, you would think this guy's got to be leading this team in goals. He's always in the right place, right time. It's just that tail end of it. Is it a handball? Absolutely not. Well done by Samake on the backside to go to ground, and as a center back, you're always worried. But with the amount of movement you've gotten up top now, you got to keep a better eye on things, because Matsulevich and Luke Brown are starting to shift from right side to left and just moving that top position.
Popovich has won it. Chased that one down. That's good work from him. He's going to hold it up. Usman now. And tackled away by the reliable and always dependable Johannes Bergman. Zaki will come back on Tuesday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. It's the exclusive reveal of the first college football playoff top 25 rankings of the season. It'll be live from Madison Square Garden in between games at the Champions Classic. Reese, the guys are going to break it down from top to bottom. They'll get coaches' reactions and also a live interview with committee chairman Rob Mullins. Tremendous work there from Derek Broach, who comes off. Scored the tying goal in the 47th minute, but to your point, Devin has put in a wonderful shift here and really, I think, lifted the tempo and speed of play of Michigan. Zaki off the turn, blocked. It's a big block. Getting in front of it was Ben DeRosa, who's known for important interventions. Just ask Indiana last year in the semifinals of the NCAA College Cup. Ball whipped in there by Harrison. Barra again with that sophisticated curling pass out wide. Tellez. I mean, Tellez may have covered every blade of grass on this field here today, Devin.
We said that the predictability was something that was at fault for Michigan. They weren't giving a variety of looks. Mark Ibarra to start the second half allowed them to be a bit more exploratory in the final third when he would come outside, push a higher line, and now Tellez is starting to do that. And I love your point made earlier that he has basically hit every single position on this field because he's playing the 6, but right now rotates to the right side. We've seen him up high next to Popovich, and now they're just trying to put it all together. But inside 20 minutes to go, maybe stay at home a bit more and keep this defensive unit in shape.
Well, that leads to a good question. You find that balance of, do you become a little bit more focused on defending a little deeper here and being a little bit more compact, or do you keep pushing the game here, which has led to some success? Oh, it's a great touch. It's Popovich, squared it back. Oh, he came flashing in towards the near post, Popovich. Tellez to ground makes the pass forward. Here's Ibarra. It's a Michigan that is getting more and more confident here. And it's Zaki. Shot is saved. Not sure if he was offside or not. It's going to be a corner here. But coming up with the save is Neumann. But Zaki with a chance to make a 4th here for Michigan.
More concerning is you've got Eli Crognale that's gone to ground, and he was hurt earlier this season. They'll bring the trainer out to see exactly what's going on. And to answer your question, I'm not parking the bus, and this is why. When you have service and the likes of Jack Hallahan and Kevin Bucco being whipped in this pretty of nature, you got to take advantage of it, and especially the big bodies of Umar Farouk and Zaki up top. He's come in now, and you gave him a break, 20-25 minutes. He gets the rest into the second half. Now, I'm not going full throttle in transition, but I'm going to play off of him where when you work your way up, use him as that focal point. Doesn't matter if it's a second or third chance. And if you do want to go in transition, play it up to the big body, then move your line up and slowly wind this clock down.
So Eli Cronali, who so important here from Gahanna, Ohio. Slow to get up here. Owen Finnerty, Nicholas Neumann, by the way, stabbing that ball with his left foot to make that save. Huge save for him.
Should be 4-2. And spot on. Right on the goal line. Just and stuff right now. And
yeah, 4-2 with the amount of time left in this. Could have been problems. Coming back in here is Justin Harris, the freshman. He's got pace. He's raw. 16th appearance for him out of Columbia, Maryland. He will come on for Cronali, and that's one you got to keep an eye on for the future here. With both tournaments right around the corner here, the Big Ten tournament, and then, of course, the NCAA tournament beginning play very soon.
The way that this Maryland team has been playing, don't be surprised to see Luke Brown drop down into that position for Eli Cronali and become that playmaking role. Because even though he hasn't been able to open up his scoring account, he's been quite impressive pushing this ball forward.
Headed away by Richardson. Shooting opportunity, top of the box here. Buka's shot is blocked. It's going to be a free kick for Michigan here, and then Maryland just trying to get it going here. Can't get out of their own half.
Just another example where when you're compressed into a 40-yard space gun and this ball gets played into the box, he should not have the time to bring this ball down and then get a shot off. You should be one-on-one marking, and if you're going zone, the rotation over just has to be quicker.
Way over the top. Offering there from Ibarra, who always looked to be the man who was going to take that free kick. So we're down under 16 minutes left. Jack Hallahan getting set to come back on here for Michigan. They're going to hope to get a boost from him, get him on the ball here.
Second, 1 second. Rock! He's not playing the ball, Rock.
Zaki.
Zaki in the box.
Popovich.
Carlo, not too far, Carlo. Stop.
Popovich, 2 step overs. Will clip it in. Headed away by Maryland now, but this extended pressure here from Michigan, very timely here with a little over 15 minutes left. Into the box it comes again. Zaki gets up, and the header's way off the mark. It'll be another corner. Last touch by Maryland. Zaki, the big body, causing problems here with delivery coming in right and left. Hallahan comes back on, the second half star for Michigan. Austin Swike will come off. Ibarra off the corner. And a good run at it. The header steered wide. Dying to get himself a goal is Reagan Jackson, as he got a good 3 or 4 yard run at that. Buka scooped it over a defender.
Derek, we're going to need you for work eventually, right?
Buka fights to win it back, finally gives it up to Carlos Tellez. And that's a wise ball to go back from Usman.
Don't need to be too wide.
It's 3-2 Michigan over Maryland. 2 goals in the second half. Broach and Hallahan after being down 2-1 at the interval. Zaki called for the foul there on Nick Richardson. Offside flag is up. Marcus Anton getting set to come on for Maryland. Also Eli Cornale coming back on, so that's a good sign for them, Devin.
They'll be happy, and especially with this shift that they've made tactically just inside 15 minutes to go. They have gone to 3 at the back, but they're pretty impressive in terms of balance. It looks like Sasha Sorowski is also going to bring on Chris Rindov, a late addition to the mix with Ben DeRosa going to ground. And the DeRosa brothers in those outside back positions, it's always going to be Bergman and Brett St. Martin in the middle. And basically what they do is if you come to the left side, DeRosa's going to stay there, and they overlap on the right with Ben on the right. But then if you go to the right side, Matt's then going to push up on the left. We've seen this from in the past. They overload the middle. Luke Brown steps in. You still have Jacob Shakroom and Nick Richardson in there, and they're hoping that Isaac Ngobu can help bridge that gap to create this 3 up top with Matsalevich and Justin Harris. But again, the tactical shift has actually opened up a couple movements for Michigan going forward.
Sports Center tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, Bucci and Eves. They'll have Patriots-Ravens post-game coverage. New England looking to stay undefeated in that. Plus, how Aaron Rodgers has revitalized the Packers offense and what makes a connection between LeBron and Anthony Davis work. Sports Center, 11 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. A lot going on. A lot going on here. Just over 13 minutes left. Cornale has come back on now for Maryland. Bergman will take the free kick here. Pretty fair to say Michigan has controlled this second half in a big way. Scoreline, they've won it 2-0 and have put themselves up 3-2. But from the standpoint of pressure and energy, they have looked the better team. More changes. Adetola. He will come back on. Came off the bench in the first half. Isaac Ngobu comes off. Also coming off, Justin Harris.
Joel, you're too far, Joel!
Usman off the throw here now for Michigan. Boy, they hold on and they come here to get a 3-2 win. It is a big one. Let's go back and take a look at Michigan's goal here, this delivery from Broach.
Jack Allahan, how good has he been in this game? Just his ability to take over in the match, and everything had been from situations like that where he was the one whipping the ball in. They go out, grab an early goal in the second half to tie this thing up, and then immediately you get a response once again. It was from their substitute, Derek Broach, who stretches the game to the far side, knocks it in. The Englishman goes and gets it.
Michigan has been a second half team this year. 17 of their 26 goals have come in the second half. 2 have come today. They have been the better team. These two teams, one thing is for sure, you win here, you'll be top 4 in the Big Ten tournament. You will get to host. Now the odds are both are going to get to do that with Michigan State down to Indiana, but still time to go in that one.
Plenty of work to be done, and you were immediately nervous if you're Shaka Daly, because this team prides itself on their defensive composition. Only 12 goals given up this year, and 4, by the way, if you remember, were actually given up earlier this year to Florida Gulf Coast, so 8 in the last 15 games. That's pretty impressive work. 2 in the opening 15 minutes, and you go, oh no, what are we going to do here? All those pieces that we've got back, can they perform? Absolutely, they've done that and more.
80th minute, Indiana with a 1-0 lead over Michigan State. So these Terps in possession here. Try to work the give and go. Hallahan, Zaki now for Michigan. Ibarra picking out the correct pass here tonight. It really is one that you want on the ball, making decisions for you. He really has played a very sublimely smart game in midfield.
He was doing the same thing as a sophomore last year, under two seasoned players in Ivo Serda and Robbie Mertz. Robbie Mertz, of course, getting the nod to the next level for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. But to be able to continue that progression, he wants to be a professional. Shaka Daly saying, he's got to tidy some things up here. I'd like to see him be better in the offensive third. And though his statistics won't necessarily show you, he's been able to stretch that game and help them out in that area.
Oh.
Jack 27! Zaki, come on!
Richardson. Big diagonal ball here, trying to push forward again, and Matt DeRosa. Samake, another very steady, dependable game at the back here for Michigan. Hallahan can't control it. Maryland desperate here now. Under 9 minutes left here at Ludwig Field in Maryland.
Right off of him! Come on, man. You just hit right off a block.
Bergman. Shaka Daly trying to be the architect here of a 3-2 win here at Maryland. Still plenty of time left in this. Cornale.
Move your feet!
Little back heel.
Move your feet!
Matt DeRosa gets a cross in.
That's a foul! Tell him I'll take the foul!
Headed away by Reagan Jackson. Here's Popovich. And the type of possession you want at this stage, Devin.
Just beautiful little touch by Ibarra once again. And as all these black jerseys find a way to dig down deep, there's some quality decision making being made by the Michigan Wolverines right now, where they're not panicking. A lot of pressure, and as soon as you feel like that release is going to come, they won't let you have it. Just a nice little touch, they go back the other way.
Bergman. Here is the captain. He very well could be the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year.
Come on, Jack! Come on, Jack!
Richardson. Matsalevich on the turn, shot is blocked. It's two lines and two banks of four here, daring Maryland to break them down as Michigan. And there's space here. Matsalevich now has juggled it twice in the box now, tries to get the crossover. It's blocked. Straight back in the box. It'll be a bit of a tester, and having to push it over the crossbar. And Finnerty's saying he didn't touch it. It's going to be a corner here. And there's 6 minutes left.
This is well done by Brett St. Martin just to throw it back into the mixer. Does he get a touch on it? This looks like that comes on the backside of the crossbar, and Owen Finnerty does not put a hand on it. You could hear no implore coming from the sideline of the Michigan Wolverines. Shaka Daly not happy with the decision. He's been on the refs for the past 10 minutes.
Sort of a hybrid zonal man marking here. Free man is Reagan Jackson. Ball comes in. Jackson goes up. Header, ball still loose. Jackson spears it away. And it could be on for Hallahan if he can get there. No, he won't. Last touch by Richardson, and Michigan will be in no hurry to take this throw in. More changes. Derek Broach will come back on. Christian Pulselli will also come on for Michigan.
I love the
Zaki
direction.
and Popovich come off.
I love the direction from Shaka Daly and his crew. Say, get these eyes organized, because it's real simple to say, okay, we want you to go play up top. But with 5, 6, 7 minutes to go, your responsibility are going to be way more in a two-way fashion, where it's no longer your decision to, okay, go one-on-one situations. Step on the ball, keep an eye on the scoreboard. And just on the far side a moment ago was a good example of that, where Kevin Buka, you try to go quickly in transition, it breaks down. There's a throw-in. You don't need to then throw it and continue to push forward. Set the ball down, settle the game down, and take some of those seconds off the clock.
Ticking down towards 4 minutes left here. Michigan working on win number 9 of the season. The number 1 defensive team in the Big Ten. Sasho Cirovski telling us that, look, we want to get through this game against Michigan, get ourselves rested, and get prepared for the tournament. But he also said, make sure we knew the importance of this game for them.
Conversely, Shaka Daly saying, we haven't necessarily put forth some of our best efforts. Feel like they did really well against Indiana. They don't get a win. And you look at their resume, 3-1-1 versus the RPI top 50 is nice, but where is that really big win that's going to stand out for you? They're about 4 minutes from answering that question. And this is the one that puts you into the talking point of the committee, where no longer is it, okay, should we put them in? This is, yes, we are willing and able. Give us a shot.
Yeah, we just walked into Maryland and took care of one of the toughest teams in the nation in their environment. But still time to go here. 3 minutes and 21 seconds. We can hear the Michigan bench shouting instructions. There is Shaka Daly. This is the 9th meeting all time between these teams. They are even at 3-3-2. Bergman hangs it up. Second ball is going to be vital here. Broach got there. Broach is fouled. Free kick Michigan.
This was a smart change from the sideline of the Wolverines as well. That was Justin Maker and assistant coach Tommy McNamara yelling at their boys. They wanted Pulselli, the bigger guy, standing at about 6 foot, to come back in and help out, so that when they do release and go the other way, Kevin Buka's up top, and it's just the trailing foot of Eli Crognale that comes in late.
Finnerty. Harrison off the throw. He's out for the goal kick. No, it's a corner. It'll be a corner here for Michigan now. To the astonishment of Sasho Cirovski. Michigan being very careful here not to commit too many players forward here. Broach and Hallahan stand on it. Looks to be a short one here. It will be, as they're going to try to milk the clock here. Under 2 minutes left. Richardson wins it. Broach, who has been one of the stars here in the second half, clearly, along with Hallahan. They led the resurgence. Well, that's a deal. Indiana 1-0 winners over Michigan State. Indiana are the Big Ten regular season champions. Both these teams here, with that result, look set to host in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. Buka. But more importantly, Devin, this is a game, if Michigan holds on to win here 3-2, that can be a platform heading into what's next.
Turns the heads of the committee that neglected them in the top 16. Now, rightfully so on that initial list that came out. But remember, Maryland was in that top 16. They've had a bit more quality of wins going forward. And
shot parried away off Finnerty with a huge save. At a vital moment, the freshman coming through huge here. Maryland will get the corner. Crowd is on their feet here. 34 seconds left. Neumann has come forward, the goalkeeper for Maryland. Off the corner it comes. Goes through everybody. Played back into the box. Hallahan's there. Still running it towards the halfway line. Hallahan can hit an empty net if he tries it. He's going to roll this. Is this going to go in with 8 seconds left? It does! Spectacular drama here. Hallahan with a 4th goal for Michigan. With 3 seconds left, and they go up 4-2 on Maryland.
So let's start with the save. The guy who was the biggest question mark coming into this match, Owen Finnerty, your starting goalkeeper, goes down. Can you step up and help your team out? Early on, he could not answer the call. But when it mattered most, he makes a beautiful save, and then they get to counter and go the other way off the set piece. The coolest kid on the entire pitch all day long, Jack Hallahan, has given his team every reason to finish this game off. They couldn't do it in the first half. They step into the second, and with just seconds left in this match, Jack Hallahan able to close things off.
Unbelievable finish to this one. 3 unanswered goals in the second half. 2 from that man, Jack Hallahan. The Michigan Wolverines down 2-1 at halftime, storm back for a 4-2 win here today over Maryland. That's the final.